Welcome to the Backyard Professor Responds videos. Earlier today, I showed you a video that was pretty hokey, in my opinion, although there are a lot of people who think it's actually valid. Well, now I have a very unusual sky encounter to share with you that a gentleman shared, and this reminded me a lot of the Chris Bledsoe encounters that he calls in. I'm looking forward to, if and when I ever can get back to the sky, of having these kinds of experiences. We look at all of the evidence in order to assess the good, the bad, and the ugly. And unfortunately, it means wading into some bad stuff. It also means wading into some good stuff. Let's take a look at this quick news clip that I thought was at least worth looking at. Very interesting. Something is going on. Let's take a look.
I don't hear anything, and something's moving in erratic ways. It's in the shape of a jelly bean, but the interior was like plasma. It was just going like this, you know.
Chris Frederick has been a teacher for over 2 decades, and he currently works for a metro area school district. He showed us this video from January 25th. He's in his driveway off Northwest 21st in the Gatewood district. He said it all started that night when his wife wanted to go to Brahms, so they walked out to their car. But after a few minutes, neighbors were calling each other.
He started calling neighbors, and before long, we were all standing out in the street and had our phones out.
Chris has been a drone pilot for about 10 years. He started working with them when he and his wife were realtors in Ardmore several years ago. He fired it up and attempted to fly his drone to get a better look at the object.
The sky at night, you have to have aviation lights or it's not legal.
But strange things started happening.
My controller talks to me, and it said, unable to take off, electromagnetic interference.
After he recalibrated a few times, he eventually got it in the air and took these pictures of the object, which he estimates is around 1,500 feet off the ground. His drone was at about 400 feet when he took the pictures.
It concerns me that something was up there at night at that altitude that could have been a hazard.
He said his video function wouldn't work, which was odd. And there was something else. Only about 4 minutes and 18 seconds of flight time.
It had a fresh battery in it. It has a 35-minute flight life. And as soon as I took those 3 pics, my controller said, a low battery, return to home.
So this is kind of cool. Notice how this guy is thinking. He's saying, okay, well, I want to get closer to whatever it is in the sky, so get my drone up there. And I have heard this type of report where the batteries are drained. I had Steve Barone on here about a month ago, the Anomalous Vegas UFO recorder, and he said the same thing. Something about these orbs suck the energy, suck the electricity out of the batteries, either the drone or the controller or all of it. And so this seems to have a ring of authenticity, but notice how this thing behaves. It is so similar to what we've seen on Chris Bledsoe's channel time and again. Quite remarkable.
Chris and his wife kept seeing that object for about 4 hours that night. We showed his pictures and videos to experts at OU for a second opinion.
What it is, I don't know, right? But I think I would approach this question as, what is it likely to be, right? So that's where I'm coming from.
Professor Killick teaches astrophysics and cosmology at the university.
From the Plaza District, it's south of them because we can see the Orion constellation in the background, so we know their point of view.
He acknowledged the object looks strange, but ultimately, it's likely it's just another drone in the sky.
I could see a red streak. Now, I don't know if it's because, I could imagine if it's a long exposure. I don't know if it is. I don't know how long the exposure was, but, you know, a drone could have a red light on top of it, right? I mean, our planes have red lights on them.
We took a look at the metadata, or digital picture information of the drone pictures. You can take a look at that info for all the images right here in Oklahoma City.
I think as a professional astrophysicist, he can't say it's a UAP or a UFO or even maybe a plasma orb. And so he's going to say it's another drone. That is not how a drone is illuminated, however, like that. And they don't leave red and white streaks behind them. Yeah, he talks about the red light, but That's a professional way of saying, don't ask me to identify this. And that's just my speculation, you know. But what I'm trying to show you is, in the midst of some of the more questionable items, there is some material, there is something happening that is real and potentially unexplained, in which case we have a UAP, a UFO. This doesn't mean that there are living beings in them. One of the contentions, one of the interpretations and arguments about the various types of UAP craft that have been downed or that have been seen is that they are the alien drones that are being controlled from either a mothership or a base out in the ocean or whatever, so that if these actually were brought down or came down and landed, we wouldn't be seeing little green men with laser guns at all. There would be no one in these drones. They are controlled, some say through consciousness. Perhaps it's a different width of the electromagnetic spectrum, etc. So at this point, we just don't know. But there is good and interesting stuff, and then there is the fake stuff. And in the process of looking at it all is what gives us our ability to compare and contrast. And so we do that. So there is, in my opinion, this it kind of almost looked like a leaf, a leaf of light. And so many of Chris drones on his Instagram show just that same type of phenomenon in the sky, and how it doesn't just always fall down. So it's not a leaf, and it's not some kind of a physical object that doesn't have the capability of flying and just floating through the air like a garbage bag or something like that, because Chris's stuff also goes back up. Yeah, it'll flit and float, and then it'll go back up or further and further out, etc. It does seem to have locomotion, which means on a windless night there is some kind of an intelligence. Maybe the plasma ball itself is intelligent, or maybe it is run by an intelligence from off in the distance. We just don't know. But these types of anomalies is what we're looking for in order to study and to compare and contrast with other types. And the other thing is, there are so, it used to be simple. It used to just be flying saucers, a disc. But now we have light orbs. We potentially have gigantic different types of triangle structures, etc. Some of these could be man-made. Some of them may be UAP. The variety through the last several decades has increased. And I mean, in a way, it makes sense, because not all of our automobiles look the same. We have pickups, we have great big delivery trucks, we have small little compact cars, we have racing cars, etc. So we don't stick with just one style. So it makes sense that the UAP or UFOs aren't going to either. They may have different things they're doing, and so they need different shaped craft. Who knows? Again, this is all speculation. But stuff like this is what intrigues us and keeps us coming back for more. There is valid video, but what's the explanation? We just don't know right now. But that doesn't mean it's faked. Not everything is faked any more than everything is real. And so we practice our discrimination. So thanks for watching the Backyard Professor Responds videos. I'll be back with more as I find it. You guys have a fantastic day.